What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Definitely appreciate the support. In the first video, we were in the Vikings playbook. All right, and this is a series where I will try to play every single team and utilize that team with their playbooks. So, I'm kind of indifferent on the playbook of the Vikings. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And now we are going to utilize the Texans. Okay, so, I think this is pretty interesting because, I'll be able to see different playbooks. I think I've played with every playbook, but if I missed one, I'll be able to definitely see it in this particular series. Obviously, I go to Houston. Not a good team in Madden, right? And we're going to up against the Eagles. So that's not a good matchup there. Right away, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I like this because we're running the Crow concept on this side and we're running the Ohio passing concept on this side. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and run it. Now, I really don't run the Ohio concept at all in Madden, and there's a reason why. It's because it doesn't work the way I think it should against the coverages that it should be good against, right? So I think you're supposed to utilize this against double high, I think. And then, so this is a combo play where if we get single high, we work this side. This kind of looks like the Hank passing concept, like half of the Hank passing concept. And then this side is the Ohio passing concept where we attack double high. So when we see double high, we work this side, right? So, maybe I shouldn't have picked this play because I don't like running the Ohio concept, but I picked it anyway. And think about it, 4, 2 zone, 2 man, 0. Okay, if it was cover 4, he's reading 1 to 2, he would match that route. And this is kind of fringe. I don't know if this route is declared as a vertical route, because if they classify it as 10 yards, then the safety wouldn't take this route. Okay, and he would go and do other things. And the curl flat player, the quarter flat player would be forced to match this route to the out, right? And I think theoretically you would probably look to work this with this guy playing with inside leverage and you're running it out, right? So I think that is where you would go against that. Against 2 zone, I believe they call it MORE. I've seen that as an acronym in a lot of playbooks. And I think it's called, stands for must outside release for this player in this particular concept. In other words, when you release off of the ball, you must release on the outside of this corner no matter what, right? The reason why is because we want to create enough space to rip in this out from the number 2. Okay, if we take it outside, this corner's trying to reroute or whatever in cover 2 zone, right? And he's not able to funnel you inside. Well, by the time he, whips around, it's just more space to fit this out with this guy playing with inside leverage, vertical hook, right? As opposed to if the corner destroys you and forces you inside, now he's also looking inside to the number 2 whipping out, right? And now that can be a problem. And that's a disaster in that situation, because not only that, but now you're inside and the safety has a better time defending you. He doesn't have to widen to defend you, right? So, this is why it's so important to do what you're supposed to do. You can look at a play, look at a ball thrown, and it could be muddied and it looked like the quarterback had no idea what he was doing, or the receiver being thrown too messed up. And the problem in the play could be someone who you don't see, who didn't do what he was supposed to do. Maybe the wide receiver on the outside didn't take an outside release. He took an inside release because, hey, I'm not getting the ball anyways, whatever. He's not even, who knows? It could be a number of different things. But football is like a compound. Everything is layered, right? It isn't the receiver's fault because, he didn't get somebody off. It could be a decoy problem. It could be a number of things, right? But, again, that would be 2 zone. Against 2 man, I know this would be the guy you would want to work. The reason why is because this corner would be inside leverage on the LOS, and this guy would be inside LOS, right? But we would run him off in man-to-man coverage, and because you are on the LOS inside leverage and we are running out, we should be able to get a nice ball there, right? Problem with Madden is if you try this against 2 man, in 2 man, they defend outbreaking routes way too efficiently. It just does not seem realistic. Okay, and that's the main issue with the Ohio concept for me. That's why I don't really run it a lot. Against cover 0, I would like this out pattern too, because obviously whoever's playing man-to-man against them would be playing with inside leverage, probably off as well. So theoretically, I think this would be really good against double high, but not in Madden, right? So why did I pick this play? You know, it's a good question. So I'm like, you know what, double high, let me check into a run, right? So we're running inside zone. You should pick him up. You should pick him up. We should get a double team and then hopefully peel off to seal this guy. I think if you want to learn running the ball, the very first running concept you should learn, I think, is inside zone, because it's like the mother of all running. Once you learn that one, it's easier to learn inside zone split, quarterback read, counter. I think this is the best running concept to learn first, okay? So let's see if that's what happens. That's exactly what happens. We want you to peel and get that guy. That's exactly what happens. We hit the hole, and we get an 11-yard gain. So he was playing cover 6. Now, you might say, well, you know, they do in cover 4, you can get 9 in the box, and you know, this safety here should be in the run fit as well. So yeah, that's true, but you know, it's still, you still should be able to run a lot better on double high safety defenses as opposed to single high, right? So don't abandon the run. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. So here I saw this and I'm like, I'm definitely picking this play. I love the levels concept, and then we are running mills on this side. So this should be like a double high destroyer, right? Cover 4, we're definitely looking at this if they match, because we would get the post one-on-one against the corner with a lot of space to work inside. Deep. You know, 2 zone, we can level off in high-low, second level defenders. You know, I just like this play against double high. So I picked a play hoping I would get double high, and lo and behold, he's in single high. And this play I hate against single high. It's definitely something I would check out of. But I'm like, you know, maybe there's something I can do to kind of make the play work. So I turn him to a flat. And I'm like, I'm just going to motion him out. So now we are running curl flat on this side, and we can read off of the second defender in. And then when I pick my player over there, I can't motion him out, right? So this is the problem with picking a new playbook. You don't know the nuances of the formations in the playbook, right? And the clock is running down, and I'm like, uh-oh, what do I do? So now I'm going to check into a play that theoretically is not the way to go against this single high loaded box, and we get a bad play because of that. So I believe I went to the play again. So I'm like, I assume he wasn't going to be in single high again, but he's in single high again. So I'm like, okay, this guy's probably a single high player. So I'm like, you know what? Since I can't get this guy out there, I'll just motion this guy over there, right? And he could run the curl flat, and we'd be good to go. So I motion him. Defense shifts, and what do you know? He plays still at like a reduced split. So I was kind of pissed here. I don't like this because the spacing is off. You know, that curl flat defender could widen, and the hook curl defender can get in the window of the curl because it's too far inside. Right, so we snap the ball. I throw a little bit late, and he's able to make a play. But we're going to replay something. I want to show you something here. Let's draw a line down the center of the offense. They're in single high, so the safety is down the deep middle of the field. I want you to watch what happens when we motion the wide receiver to this side, creating 4 strong. So he would be 4, he's going to be 3, he's going to be 2, and he's going to line up here 1. You see how the safety took some steps over to this side? Okay, why did he do that? I think I went over this in the members section last year. Well, you know, if he's responsible for this area here, I moved it slightly over because we're not in the middle of the field. Okay. He would play a little bit more down the center if we are in a balanced formation. Okay. But because we overload this side of the field, it's just far more passing strength or passing opportunity or more of a threat on this side to attack. Right. So to compensate, he moves closer towards the strength of the formation, the passing strength. So what's the point of me going over that? Well, maybe that's an instance where you can work something with the backside receiver, right? You overload this side of the formation. he moves slightly over, and hopefully he favors this side in defense, and then we have more of an area to attack the seam by the backside receiver, right? So in a play where we have a disaster here, because I don't like to play against the defense he has called, I would really like this guy to run like a deeper pattern and maybe hook up right here, right? That would be a decent play design, I think. And then have something underneath to kind of somewhat hold a backer. So he snapped the ball. I wasn't thinking about this in the game, right? I probably should have just go ahead and ripped to him. Threw to the flat, and we get to 3rd and 11. 4th and 7, and I'm like, skip it. I'm just going to go for it. And for whatever reason, this is a rare occasion to where I thought, he's in a soft type of defense, maybe some type of cover 6, sitting corner, right, half, quarter, or cover 9 or cover 2, whatever the case may be. Well, I know the box is very soft, right? He's not really concerned with the run at all because it's 4th and 7. So this is a rare occurrence to where I check into a run on 4th and 7, right? We get inside zone going this way. You get him, we get a double team here. And the thing is, this is a star player, but we get a double team on him, so he's not going to be able to make a play. And then we can hold that double team for a bit. At least this is what I'm thinking, because there's no one to really peel off to get. You're supposed to hold the double team as long as you can, right? If there was like a backer here, I was watching a coach, and he goes, I want you to hold this double team as long as possible. If that linebacker refuses to trigger off and fire into the gap, then just hold the double team as you guys move that guy, right? Move the lineman into the linebacker if you can, right? And the second he starts, he decides, all right, I'm a fire. Well, then whoever's got to peel off, then you peel off to get him, right? So in Madden, they peel off a lot earlier than what they should. There's no reason for him to come off at this point because there's no threat for you to peel off and get. So he peels off a little early, leaving this guy one-on-one with the guy. And I cut back because the inside defender had inside arm free, started firing in. We're able to cut back into the void there and get a really nice first down. So right here, when I saw this, I'm like, you know what? This is the Frisco concept. I know they call it shallow cross in the game here, but I believe the Chiefs call this Frisco. Alex Byrn has a great article on this. I believe, shallow cross is really where you have, two defenders trying to cross and mesh and whatever. I think Frisco is a tie off of that the Chiefs run. Okay, so that's just another passing concept you can look up. So these are the ones that I went over: arches, line levels, Salem, dragon, etc. So this is Frisco, and the Chiefs call it that. Maybe a different team calls it something else. And here are some of the diagrams that Alex Byrn has drawn up on his website that deals with the topic at hand. He talks about the Chiefs running regular shallow cross, and then he differentiates between shallow cross and Frisco in the article. So some good stuff in that article. And he goes into detail and says that whenever the Chiefs run it, look at this, outside release versus cloud, right? Weren't we just going over this? Must outside release if they are in cloud. They're cover 2 corner. But the Chiefs, he stated, when they run this Frisco deal, they always run curl flat with it. So the idea is whenever they get single high, cover 1 man, they attack with the Frisco deal. If it's cover 3 zone, then they attack with the curl flat, right? So that's how the Chiefs utilize this play. And if they get Tampa 2, then they work that middle guy sit down route over the ball. And he also says he's seen it called as shark as well. So I believe it's something that's supposed to complement mesh and shallow cross. Like if you run a lot of cross and mesh, then this is something you want to add in to complement or supplement that call. I really don't see the major difference between Frisco and shallow cross, but it's something that I need to learn a lot more about because I'm not a shallow cross guy. I'm not a mesh guy. I'm really not an air raid guy. Okay, it's not really my cup of tea. but obviously it's something that I do want to learn more about. Okay, so I call the call, and I can tell this is some type of cover zero blitz. So where do we want to go with the ball? Obviously we can look to attack our guy underneath, but I'm real greedy. When I get cover zero, I want to attack deep, and the middle of the field is wide open against cover zero. So our guy's running a post with a reduced split, which helps him out, okay, because it gives the threat that we can run it out, right? And then also this corner is severely playing like outside leverage, right? So yeah, I don't care if you're Darius Slay and I have some average receiver. You know, if theoretically you should be able to beat this guy, then I'm going to throw it every single time. Now, we got to worry about pass protection. The mic is set on this guy, so I believe they get into a 5-0 call where the line is responsible for these 5 players. You are going to check release this player, which would make this guy the hot. So if we snap the ball and we want to throw this post and this guy's coming, we got to know that we got to get rid of the ball before he gets there, but we need to buy time so that the post could develop. So what you do in situations like that is you kind of drift away from the free rusher, right? And you throw your post. Now, I wasn't on my game in this play. I actually just dropped straight back, but thankfully the free rusher takes a very wide path, and we're able to get rid of the ball before he gets there. And look how we're tossing this thing up down the middle of the field. He beats a very good corner because theoretically the route should destroy a guy playing with outside leverage. So this, I'm like, when I saw this, I was, kind of confused. So I didn't know what personnel grouping to pick. I picked a play, and our corner played a wonderful technique. He just drove on it, right? This is why I'm not a big fan of throwing like hitches or curls a lot of times. Curls are fine, but I don't know what happened here, right? I just don't know why my guy just drove on that so hard against a receiver who's pretty damn good, right? So, yeah, I just got lucked out there. I was playing cover one man. So this is one thing I like about this playbook, nickel wide. One adjustment you can make is they align in this wide front, and then you can shift the linebackers down and they will hug the A-gaps here. So I think you can come up with a lot of creative pressures from this particular front. Okay, so this is something I would like to do from this playbook. I think nickel wide is a defensive get the hard flag at the tackle there, or the big hit. I think this is something that I would want in my playbook. So I think you could be pretty creative with the blitzes and the different things you can throw at your opponent. So here I was doing a lot of different things here. He snaps the ball. He's looking to throw short, obviously, on some hookup routes, and he's not able to get it down. He ends up getting a touchdown, and I should have shown it. I think I ran the same play, and he just ran someone on like a quick whip route or something like that, right? So maybe I didn't show it because it wasn't like exciting. It's only exciting if I score. I like this play, stick spacing, and I'm actually going to work the wrong side of the play, but it plays just like the Hank passing concept. So you want to call this against single high, and the progression on the play is 1, 2, or 2, 3. Now, you may think that that is weird, but you're always, at least for me, you can teach this however you want. I'm pretty sure that there's different ways that teams, coach a progression for this. But you snap the ball and you're looking for the tight end over the ball. If he's open, you throw it to him, right? And that's it. That's the end of the play. But if he's not open, then you go to the second read in the progression. Now, who is it? Is it this guy or this guy? Well, it depends on who cheated to defend the tight end, right? Because these guys, the hook curl defenders, are supposed to widen and get depth, right? Play the hook to the curl. So if this guy runs and sits here, and this guy decides to climb down on that route, well, now our 2 is going to be from here, our 2-3. The reason why that is because you're not widening over to this side, now we get a 2-on-1 deal on whoever is the flat, right? And the flat can never be right. You defend the curl, we throw the flat. You defend the flat, we throw the curl. We're not concerned about the outer shell of the coverage. So go watch my Hank passing concept. I go over that concept. It's funny because the run passing concept I think people should learn first is the inside zone, and the passing concept play I think people should learn first is the Hank passing concept. So I have a video on that. Maybe I shouldn't have went through all that. Snap the ball, and right here, I should be looking here. Okay, 1 is not there. Now work 2 to 3, right? And see how we can stretch this guy. But I actually worked this side. Okay, so you see here, this guy was widening. We could have ripped it there and then turn upfield. It's one thing I don't like about Madden. Even though these guys are outer shell of cover 3, yeah, they play a lot more conservatively on the outside, but there's no way they should be that deep in their depth, right? Okay, but kind of is what it is. But I want to show why this flat was open, and it's because our outside receiver ran the route perfectly. I believe you're taught, like when you're running like the snag concept, let's say the ball is here, and you have your combo like this, snag, corner, flat. Let's say they're in single high, and this guy's man-to-man on the back, and you snap the ball. I believe some people teach, hey, when you run this route, we want you to run it right in front of the defender running out to defend the back. So you can get in his way, which would allow the back to outflank him to the flat, and we can throw the flat, right? Well, look at what happens here. He's going to curl it up right on the hip of the flat defender, right? Which allows us to outflank to the flat, and we throw it out there, right? So that's, I don't know if that's by design in that play. I would have to run it a couple of times, but I'm pretty sure it's probably by accident, right? But I mean, that's the benefit of, you know, if you were able to implement that in Madden, create your own playbook, but then tell your players like, hey, this is your assignment. When you run snag against single high, you know, hey, I want you to curl up right in the path of the defender running out with the flat, etc. You would be able to, you know, design plays the way it's really are. It really is in the game, you know, but it's just something Madden doesn't have. So here I decided to run this play again. I'm not going to go over this. I really don't like how the curl is ran from a reduced split. So at that point, that's when I learned I really don't like that play, because I don't like the poor spacing on that play. I would rather that guy to be further out, and we're not able to do that in that formation. So I'm like, hey, look, there's arches, right? So I'm like, I'm going to pick this play and run this against double high. Hopefully I get double high. And of course, with my luck, when I pick the play, he's running single high, right? So I really don't like arches against single high, but we have options in this play. We can throw our backside comeback pattern. So I check into that, and that's pretty much where I'm going all the way. And when I snap the ball, something was off. This guy's not bailing. He's kind of sitting flat. I just knew something was wrong. I didn't see this because I'm looking over here. So, you know, your alarm bells will go off when you run the same type of concepts over and over again. Something will just look different. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm not throwing this. Something's not right. So then that's when I looked inside, and I saw this guy flash. I'm like, you know, I'm going to throw him. And he sits down, and we turn a disaster into a decent play. But he was actually, that was a disguise coverage. It looked like single high, and he rotated over the top so this guy could sit flat, right? So that's one of the benefits of disguising coverage against a pre-snap, post-snap read, play or player, right? So 7 seconds left. Oh, now I know why I did that one play. I knew he was doing single high, converting into cover 2, right? A disguise type of look. So this is why I did this. I did this so if I saw him scramble to play deep half, I may be able to fit a honey hole shot, right? So that's why I did this. And I knew if he actually ran a pure cover 3 against what I just have called here, this play is garbage, right? I was hoping he would roll into cover 2. He was doing that a lot, and he didn't do it this time. So now I'm like, I just got to get rid of the ball so we can get a field goal going. And that's what happens. Okay, this pissed me off. So here I'm playing cover 1 robber. The whole point of cover 1 robber is you show a double high look, and then post snap we rotate into single high. So it's about deception. But I further the deception when I play cover 1 robber sometimes, where I move the safeties further out, because I want to give the illusion that the middle of the field is wide open, when in fact it's not, it's closed. Okay, now I want you to watch how this safety ruins the play. Snap the ball, play fake. Okay, so, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like it, you know. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe he shouldn't been able to make a play there because he's fighting to get inside as the 3 rec. But the way I see it, I just don't see it, right? Because as a 3 rec, he should be relating to the number 3, I believe, right? Let's go back. I'm a three receiver hook, I'm sorry. And he's the clear number 3. So, you know, maybe thinking the ball was going to be ripped right in there. So he sat, and then he lobs it over. So maybe not a big deal. Yeah, maybe not. That's on me. No, he just made a good throw. He waited till he cleared the 3 rec and lobbed it right over him. I believe this play was in the Minnesota Vikings playbook. So, you know, I love this play. I talked about it in the previous video with the Vikings. So obviously I would always slide weak. So we would pick up big on big and then have this guy as the hot. I think I went over this play, so I'm not going to go over it. But when I see this, this is definitely cover 0, right? So we snap the ball, and obviously I throw to the flat because I read that poorly. What I did was, this guy was my hot, and at the snap of the ball, I was expecting him to come, so I would throw to the flat, knowing that, you know, a backside defender would be on the back. But I assumed that he was coming, and when we snapped the ball, he didn't come, right? He cleared off with the back. So that 6th rusher was coming from somewhere else. So it's just poor robot play on my part. So then I blocked the back because I really want to attack that deep post. I throw that deep out again against clear man-to-man cover 0. I run the play again. And he gets a sack. So he wants to stay in cover 0. That's what I want. Now I set the mic over here. And I block the back. Okay, so I moved him back over there. 3, 1, 2. You're open the back would read 1 to 2. So I think he does dual read. That's called dual read. Only if you put him into block. Right? If you put him in a check release, he'll never do it. Right? And that's what I don't like about the game. So he steps up. They don't slide the way I would like them to. This game can be funky sometimes, even with the declare the mic feature. I think it has something to do with the front, so that might be on me as well, right? Yeah, because it's 5 on the line. So I think no matter what, the offensive line, we are taking these guys, no matter what here. And me setting him as the mic, he's going to read 1 to 2. I think he was reading 1 to 2 this way. He doesn't come, gets his eyes on 2, blocks this guy. That's just, that's a nasty block there. So we're good in protection here, right? So he's expecting that deep out again. But I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for this deep post pattern. This guy's playing with outside leverage too. No safety over the middle. that's just that's a clinic right there. So he goes gun spread, and I decide I want to play cover two match. But this is something you can do with cover two match, guys. You can play it from the invert cover two. So now you further the deception of the play, right? Now you guys know we put this guy in a soft squat, and we turn him into anything but the mid read, and we user this player and relate to the number 3 no matter what, right? So now we look like we're playing single high, but we're not. We're actually playing cover two match, and you guys know in cover two match, definitely go check out my videos on that. I'm not going to go over that here. The video will be too long. And I think this is why he threw an interception, because we snapped the ball, and if you know it's single high and you see this guy sit and your player's trying to clear, well, let me rip it in there, right? And that's what he did, but he doesn't know that we're actually playing cover two invert. Safeties busting his tail to get over there. We get an interception, and I believe this is where he called it quits. So I don't think this video is as exciting or informative as the Minnesota Vikings game, but I do think that, you know, there was some decent information in the video. Maybe not what I would like, okay, but the thing I like most about the Texans playbook is the nickel wide 9, right? So that's something I'm going to carry along my travels, and look for a playbook where it has a wide variety of different defensive formations, but I would really like one that has nickel wide 9. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you keep coming back, man. Peace.